All right, what's happening, everybody? Good evening. Good evening. Hold on a second, man. We're going to get started here in just a minute. Don't worry, Natasha's here. You guys won't have to listen to me for too much longer. But anyway, hang in here, everybody. Hey, welcome, everybody in YouTube land. So we got YouTube, we got TikTok land, and we got us. All right, we got about 4 minutes, and we're going to get started in a few minutes. I'm going to introduce you guys to Natasha. She's my co-host tonight. She's absolutely wonderful. She'll be here with us tonight. We're going to be slingshotting a lot of stuff back and forth tonight. We're going to be talking about the upcoming classes. We're going to be talking about the latest stuff that's been happening, the do or die stuff. I'm going to be talking about this thing. Those of you guys that are in TikTok land, you'll see this thing. I got this deal back here. It says how to beat any court case. And we're going to talk about this. Truth and fiction. We're going to talk about these little ads. And you'll see these things a lot. You know, you see these things in the sovereign movement. And in Ephesians 5:11, it says that when we see things that don't look right, we're supposed to call them out. This is one of those things. We're going to be talking about this a little bit tonight. I'm going to open with this tonight. We're going to talk about this. We're also going to talk about the upcoming classes and stuff. We've got about 3 minutes. We're going to get started, everybody. So just come on in. Welcome to the room, everybody. Oh my goodness, it's up in TikTok is filling up quick right now. We've got lots of folks filling up. I'm so excited. Looking good. I don't know, we may just get started early. Hey, everybody's coming in. Natasha, I think everybody's coming in. We may just get started early. Who knows? All right. Welcome, everybody coming in. All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to pull the trigger 1 minute early. That's right, because I just have no patience today. That's right. Patience. They're at the hospital. Patience. We're not going to be doing any of that tonight. Anyway, welcome to the call, everybody. We're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes. 1 more minute. 1 minute. I'm going to push the go button. That's right. And when you hear my lady here, no, Natasha's married. No, when you hear my lady here say this call is being recorded, that's when you know it's time. That means we got to suck it up, everybody. Water the kids, feed the dogs. Whatever you got to do, let's get it done. Because tonight, we're going to have a really great call tonight. We're going to be talking about lots of cool stuff tonight. I'm super excited and glad you guys are all here tonight. Natasha's here tonight. Carl's not here tonight, so we're going to give him some crap tonight. No, we're not. He's probably taking care of his wife tonight. He better be. Oh, he better be. If he's out there playing in the fields, we're going to get him, Natasha. We're going to go toilet paper his house. I know where he lives. Oh, like kids. All right. That's it. I'm pushing the button. I can't take it anymore. Let's listen.
This call is being recorded.
That's right. You heard her, everybody. Welcome to the call, everybody. My name is Tim Dameron. I'm with the House of Yah Community Outreach. And I'm not just with the House of Yah. I'm actually the director of the House of Yah Community Outreach. And my co-host today is Natasha Jordan. Actually, she's been my co-host for forever. But anyway, she's here. Welcome to the call, Natasha. What are we going to do tonight?
Hi. I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, what are we doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing a lot of good stuff. It's always my pleasure to be here with you and helping and hosting. So tonight, what we're actually going to do is going to be talking about the UCC, your trust, and then we're going to touch a little bit on the Firm Mailing book. You actually, first of all, I want to say you're looking really good. What you do? You working out on the gym a little bit?
Definitely doing some gym work, you know, and Yah's just been putting me back together. I'm very blessed, very happy. Thank you for noticing that. So sweet. I'm actually up like 24 pounds. So
really?
Yeah, 24
wow.
pounds.
Yeah, sorry, I had a squirrel moment. But anyway, but yeah, so
thank you.
Firm.
I don't get compliments often.
The website again today. Looking at the website again, and I seen that you possibly had a program to where if anybody actually signed up before December, that you're going to do something with the Firm Mailing book. Is that going to be a free class, or did I?
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about that real quick.
That's exactly right. So we've got UCC and Trust coming up on the 3rd and the 4th of December. Mm-hmm. If you guys sign up for the class before December 1st, okay. That means you get your payment in, everything's in, you get signed up for the class. That means you need to set up an interview with me. We need to talk. If you can't wait, just call my office directly. You can go to the website, go to houseofyahcommunityoutreach.com/workshops, and you'll be right in there. You'll be able to schedule an appointment. We can talk. You can ask a ton of questions. We have a whole hour together, so it's totally good. I had a wonderful conversation with two fellas today, both of them named Steve, on the same phone line. It was really quite interesting. But anyway, they both signed up for the UCC and Trust class. And because they did, Natasha, I told them, I said, we have the firm mailing book class. It's going to be on the 23rd. And I said, that's free. So anybody that signs up, gets an interview in and gets signed up, are students that haven't taken the UCC and Trust class, which I think there's maybe one or two of y'all that have, but that haven't taken it. If you guys get signed up before December 1st, the firm mail book class is on us. It's on me. It's totally on me. So you guys will be invited to take the class for free. That's going to save some money. So hopefully it should save some money, right? Everybody wants to save money this time of year. I know they do. I hope everybody enjoyed Bible study last night. It was rocking. Definitely rocking. We had a really good, had a great message last night. It was really on point. And also another thing too, we have travel and driving coming up on the 10th and the 11th of December. We have the debt and foreclosure class. I know that's your favorite class. On the 17th and 18th of December. And then after that, it's just the 23rd. Oh, wait a minute. We have tax equity and discharge on December the 19th. I almost forgot. Oh, that's right. Abel said it. Abel has already paid for that class. Abel's in that class too. That's going to be a really great class. So if you guys want to get into that class, definitely would love to have you guys in that class. This is about discharging debt. Okay. Now understand you got to have the right vehicle to get there. And that's what people are missing in this process. People are, excited because they're learning a little bit about something, and then they run to the finish line. They're not getting themselves. Ready. They're just jumping into that position, and the problem is that there's a lot of work that has to be done. You really have to set yourself up, not just here, but there's some things that you have to do to set yourself up. Just like if you want to open a business. If you want to open a business somewhere, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to open a Walmart. You know what I mean? You got to go file a DBA. You've got to get some rules, and and depending what kind of corporation, LLC you have set up, you may have to have guidelines. You may have to have board members. You may have to have all kinds of stuff. And these are the things that are necessary to set up so that you can walk into this game of commerce and play this game to win. Really. And Natasha, what people really don't understand is that you're doing commerce on the day-to-day. Every time you buy a car, every time you buy a house, every time you enter into a security agreement where your payments are being counted. Like you have 36 payments, 72 payments, 48-month payments, stuff like that. That we're entering into the commerce game, and we're completely wide open to liability. What were your thoughts on, because I know that you've done pretty much all this stuff, and from your perspective, was it difficult? Was it easy? Did you ever feel like, he's sending me on a wild goose chase? What is this? Did you ever feel like that? I know that's, sometimes people can feel like that, when they're dealing with other teachers, right?
Right. Yeah. So mine, I thought it was an easy process. It's a step-by-step process, and you guide us through everything, making sure that we understand everything, why we're doing this, which is foremost important. But before we go any further, I do want to make sure that everybody knows that this here is for entertainment purposes only. It's not legal advice. We're not here to hurt anybody's feelings. I do encourage anybody that has any questions to please put them in the comments down below, and we will get to them and answer them to the best of our ability. But going back to that, I think basically whenever I started out, there was a lot of misinformation on the internet. I would hear from this person, I would hear from that person. And I found that a lot of people were kind of running around not really knowing what they were doing because, one, they didn't do it. They didn't have the proof. And then the ones that, seemed like they kind of knew what they were doing, they seemed kind of angry, and that kind of goes for our other people that we really don't talk about that much. But they want to try to use loopholes. They want to try to use, this UCC one and this and that and the other. Like, they're angry with the government, but why are they getting angry? So that's kind of what I started off with. But then when I got with you, you were like, no, you don't need to be get rid of your nationality, because that's one thing that you actually are going to use in your commerce.
That's right.
I guess you explained it best, because they gave it to you. They're using it. Why are you not using it? And you explained basically, well, let's talk about performance. Let's talk about what discharge and debt is. Let's talk about this and how are they using this system. And once you kind of understand how they're using it and all that, then you say, okay, so now that you understand this, let's get into the right platform. Let's get into the right vehicle so you can learn how to do this. And that's what you do in your UCC classes and perfect it. You say, okay, well, let's set up, our security agreement. And this is why you're doing it. You're putting everything under contract, and, your hold harmless agreement and this and that and the other, and step by step. Right. And that's how you actually, teach us, And then not only that, though, it's pretty much you give us the paper forms, or the Excel, and you tell us, this is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing that. You always make sure that, if you don't understand, then you go back and re-explain it, which is always lovely. Because, like I said, I've been out of school for 20 years. Some of that stuff I forgot.
Same. And, they didn't teach us much in school anyway, other than to sit down, raise your hand, and be quiet. Those are the three things they taught us how to do in school.
And how to be obedient, and how to pay your taxes and go get more debt notes to be able to pay those taxes. And I guess what actually hit me is that whenever I started using my trust and being the administrator and, learning how this works, that it all just kind of started falling in place, So I'm going out working a 9-to-5 job and creating a house note, creating a boat note, creating this and that and the other. And I was taught that all I have to do is pay it off. And then I never get any money back. And then you said, well, no, you can actually discharge that. I was like, excuse me? I can do what? Things that they never taught us in school. Mm-mm. And I'm like, so you mean I get to do this? And you kind of step into a whole new matrix, and you're like, oh, okay. And it's really nice. But, you start off with your foundation of this. Also take your other classes on your foreclosure, on your taxes, and then how everything kind of falls in line, so you are discharging. This is how you do it and so forth. And this is the forms that you send to get your discharge, your notes back. And it makes a full circle. So instead of you just actually going out and working to your 65 and your fingers to the bone and not ever seeing anything, you actually say, okay, well, I'm stepping over here and I'm taking care of my beneficiaries for all this work that I'm actually doing and getting my debt notes back and discharging this and that and the other, and, making a future for yourself.
That's right.
So it's actually, it's great. And I don't know a better word to put it,
Thanks. That's awesome. And it's true, though, because it helps you compartmentalize these parts of our lives so that we can really live our lives. It's hard to live your life when half your foot or half your ear is hanging at work. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's hard to watch kids have fun with kids when you're waiting for that important business phone call, or when you're waiting to sign, waiting at Verizon for 4 hours to get 2 phones or something like that. You know how it is. It's difficult, and once you do this process, that part of your life becomes simplified. And one of the things, hold on a second, somebody's asking me a question here. I can't see who it is, but it says, hey Tim, your debt discharge class is about 1099 discharge, or another way. It is about 1099 discharge, and it is about doing it some other ways too. A lot of what we talk about in that class is how to clean up your debts for the year, so that way you can close out the year and you can do what we call Jubilee. You can Jubilee that year and just, that's it. You can do this if you're assessing everything. And if you have the vehicle to assess it, then you're in good shape. This is why we have the Trust and UCC class coming up and I keep forgetting, but it's the 3rd and the 4th, December 3rd and 4th. And by getting into that class, what happens is you're setting up your foundation. You're setting up your vehicle. So that vehicle can take itself to the pay window. And now you can start moving those funds and start using those funds like you want to. The problem that we have is that everything is commingled, I think, Natasha. I think that we end up commingling so much stuff and you're just half in and half out. I mean, especially soccer moms, especially moms that, that are raising children and having a career at the same time. I don't know how you guys do it, honestly. My hat's off to you because you're pulled in so many different directions. But then, when you read that book about men are from Venus and the other ones are from Mars or whatever that book is, because we don't want to quote it exactly. Somebody might get mad at what I say. But that book, it says that women are like the internet. So you guys are like plugged into everything like all the time. Like whatever events that just happened 5 minutes ago and the events that happened 9 years ago, all can be recalled within seconds if needed, because that's how they're built, see? And what happens is that you guys can balance that stuff, but us men are not built that way. And so we don't balance that life very well at all. This is why in a lot of American homes you have women, most of the time the women are running the finances, they're handling the finances, they're saving the money, they're budgeting, and they're doing stuff like that. And, the husband's just going out there killing himself. Well, one of the liabilities that we have is that, Natasha, is that when we hold property ourselves, the living person, we're personally liable. Natasha, how many times have you heard people tell you, oh, don't go start a business in your name. You need to go put it in a corporation, or you need to open up an LLC or something like that. You've heard that before, because they'll tell you because if something goes bad with the business, they could come after your personal assets. Well, my question is, what about your personal assets? How are we covering those? And the truth and reality is that we're not. The truth and reality is that most of us are like, imagine like a 6-pack of beer left at the dock over the weekend. Anybody could come by and snatch you up out of that water at any time and pretty much do whatever they want to with you. But most people don't. Most people have other things to do. And so they save that stuff for the minorities, I think. I don't know. It's what it feels like, at least. Anyway, I'm just checking the comments here. Welcome, everybody, to the call, by the way. If you guys have questions or comments, and yes, I can say yippee. I can say yippee, yippee, yippee. If that helps. Somebody was asking me to say yippee. I don't know why, but that was the deal. But anyway, this class on December 3rd and 4th is really going to help you set up your year for 2025. We have a new president, okay? This guy's going to be doing a lot of things. One of the things that I'm going to tell you that I think has been truly a Trojan horse to really hurt people is this repudiation for citizenship, or whatever it's called, where they're telling you guys to, some of these groups out there are telling y'all to take your citizenship and go throw it in the trash and go be the man on the land. Have you heard that, Natasha?
Oh, yeah.
What's the whole spill with that? I mean, so they want to be the man on the land, and then all of a sudden they own property and they want to go into court and have powers of attorney and all kinds of other stuff. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. And basically, I think it's just them just trying to spit out words and make them sound intelligent when it really doesn't. They want to try to throw all these legalese and, I'm governed by, I don't want to be governed anymore, and I want to be a free and, national and this and that and the other. But what they don't realize is they're throwing everything away. Because that is the one thing that you actually do need is your citizenship, that social security number, in order to be able to go open up your trust and then be able to build on top of your trust.
Yes.
What if I want to open up a nonprofit? Well, then I build on that. Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of like no different with our new president. I mean, look how much stuff he started off with his social security number, just one, and then he built on top of it, and look where he's at now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably got a stack of EINs under his name.
Exactly. Why would I want to throw that away whenever you have so many other people in this country trying to get it, and it, I just don't understand. And it kind of goes back to where they act like they're mad at the government, like, oh, they wronged me and this and that and the other. They didn't wrong you, and stop being mad at it. Why don't you learn how to play the game and learn how to get in here and, do your trust,
Exactly.
learn how to discharge.
Put your big boy pants on.
Exactly. Learn how to get in here, and, we all have heard of our 1099As and, our remittance coupons and, our Sesame account and stuff like that. And it all sounded great and groovy in the beginning. I was like, ooh, you mean I got billions of dollars sitting over here and I can, access it? No, I can't, unfortunately. But what you teach me in this class is I can step in front of it and I can learn how to use it.
And we can leverage it. Yes.
And I can leverage it. Yes. But guess what? If I give up my citizenship, that's out the window. Why would I want to do that?
Well, that's what they're teaching in that group, is that this is what they're teaching in the Crooked David group, is that basically you do something, you tell everybody that you're awake because apparently everybody thought you were asleep, and I don't know what that's all about, or everybody thought you were dead. And so now all of a sudden you have to prove to everybody that you're alive. Because like a certificate of live birth doesn't demonstrate that at all, but whatever. And I mean, it has the witnesses, it has everybody on it. So anyway, this group is bent on doing that sort of thing. And then they excommunicate themselves from the country by doing some repudiation of citizenship, stupid affidavit. And then from there, and by the way, this isn't meant to hurt anybody's feelings. And I say it's stupid, not because they're stupid, because I don't really know them well enough to say that. But the document and the process itself is stupid. And it's stupid because it doesn't self-serve itself. It actually hurts itself. So this is what, I did a video on this, Natasha, about what is a sovereign citizen. And that's really what a sovereign citizen is. I know somebody's going to say, it's an oxymoron. Somebody in the background is going to say that. No, it's true. It is. But what it really means is that you're going in a lot of different directions and you're not making any sense. And so they got that name for you. And I'm going to, and those of you guys out in YouTube can't see this, but you guys in TikTok can see this here, right? I came across this today. This is a good example of somebody with their underwear on their head, okay? This is the little metaphor that I use, and again, it's not meant to hurt anybody's feelings, so Karen, sit down, go back to your coffee break, it's going to be okay. So, it says, oh, and by the way, this is really good information, you guys, and I'm going to be dropping some big nuggets here about this class. Do me a favor. Would you please share this? You guys in YouTube land, please share this link so other people can see this, because I know you guys are seeing stuff like this that is out there. And what it says here, those of you guys that can't read this and Natasha can't read it, it says how to beat any court case. Oh my gosh. And the funny thing is, when you read through here, it says nothing about beating a court case. It defines what a void judgment is. That's right. And that's all. But do you see how people put the underwear on their head? They turn it a little bit sideways, and they're not even communicating anymore, okay? Now, a void judgment is something that has to be ruled. So what you file is a motion for void judgment, or it's a motion for a void judgment. And if you meet the criteria for a void judgment, which means that it's groundless, which means it's vexatious, which means that it's motivated internally, anything like that, any kind of abusive process, anything like that, then you present that, make your presentment, make your filing. The other party accepts it. They have an opportunity to answer it. This is part of due process. They have an opportunity to answer it or not answer it. And therefore, then there's a ruling. So this how to beat any court case, man, this is at the theory of how to beat any court case. This is not how to beat any court case. And this is what I'm talking about, Natasha. This is these guys running around half-cocked like this. Just look, you're on the right track. But in the time that it took to make this little flyer that he made up here, he could have just finished reading the paragraph and understood that there's a procedure that he's missing here in place. You know what I mean, Natasha? How they do this kind of stuff drives me nuts.
Absolutely. don't see where they're making, the proper presentment, staying in honor. There's no nothing there. And like you said, the best way you said it, I mean, they're only getting half the information and not fully understanding and grasping what they're trying to do. And in turn, they're making themselves look like idiots.
Yeah. They're shooting themselves in the foot too. Just, you know what I mean? It's just like, and I think that when people understand this process or when they come into the class, one of the core things that we really teach in this class, and actually in all the classes, is equity. This is the game that's being played above your heads, all of your heads. And this is why you're not seeing things. This is why people are saying, oh, these mortgages are fraudulent. Well, they're fraudulent. They're not fraudulent, actually, because you have too many people working and stating that it isn't. So, and this is how equity works. You ever watched like the credits on a movie? Have you ever watched and actually paid attention and seen how many people it takes to make that movie? Like, not talking about the actors. I'm talking about everybody else. They have to hire like a whole city of people to show up, Natasha. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, then you got your makeup people, your wardrobe, and so it's a lot.
And somebody's got to go get Subway, So, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. You literally have to have like a whole city of people and trailers and homes and just literally move like a whole zip code of people out there to go create this lie. Because the movie, the storyline, I mean, I'm not saying they're intentionally lying, but they're creating something that's fictitious for entertainment purposes only, of course. But they're creating something fictitious, but they're using equity to create the lie. We got the makeup artist. We got the blow-up artists. We got the stunt guys. We got the guys with the fake guns, the real swords, the fake swords, the karate people. We got the non-karate people. We got everybody. And when you start having all of these different demographics start working together and orchestrating together, what you have is you have a creation of equity. And this is why movies appear to be so stinking real. It's because they're using equity. And this is the one thing, Natasha, they didn't teach us how to use in school. They didn't teach us how this part works. And Crooked David's not going to teach you this because he don't know how it works either. And these guys that are running around beating on their chest like, well, they're dead now, but, what was his name? What was that guy's name? I don't know. There's a bunch of these guys, like Natasha was talking about, these guys that are just angry and pissed off at the government. Look, the best way to beat these guys is learn how to play their game, like Natasha was saying. I'm going to teach you how to play their game. I'm going to teach you how these guys really operate, and they operate in equity. And equity is so powerful. I've foreclosed on my lenders and taken my property back from them with no recourse, no problems, no issues. And I'm talking about not once, more than once, many times. We've had students that have foreclosed on their lenders and taken their houses from their lenders. They've done it because equity is that powerful. And when you understand how that works, it takes a little bit to explain this, but when you get how this works and you understand how this works and you're able to apply it, you don't feel like such a sucker anymore. Is that a good way to describe that?
Absolutely. Well, whenever you talk about equity, kind of going back to whenever I would start learning it, I think some of your examples, so equity to me is in a house, growing up, high school, all that. So your house is XYZ amount, and then, it appreciates to this, and that's your equity. If you want to, refinance it or go in and remodel it, then you have this value in your house.
Right, but so how does it appreciate? It appreciates based on what the people will pay. So that's where the equity, that's where equity determines the value of your home, determining what the people will pay.
Yeah, and I think another example is whenever you talk about on the freeway, if people are going, 80 miles an hour and the speed limit's 50, equities, because everybody is doing it, that's also equity as well. And that kind of hit hard a little bit for me. and kind of going back to whenever everybody was forced to wear stuff over their face, that also was equity, So it's not just in your house. It's just,
2 seconds real quick.
ways.
2 seconds real quick. I just want to catch this comment. She says, I got a letter in the mail, and this is a good one here. She got a letter in the mail a second day from a debt collector for a ticket from 1990. Statute of limitations, depending on what state you're in, here's what you want to look at. The variables you want to look at is, are they an out-of-state company? And if they're an out-of-state company, they need to have a foreign registration filing at the Secretary of State's office. If they don't, they can't prevail on any court case. You can tell that attorney to stick it. And you need to make sure you give them notice to stick it, by the way. Be nice, be professional, but tell them to stick it, definitely. I'm going to say from 1990, the statute of limitations has definitely expired. And set an appointment with me. You may have the ability to do a counterclaim against them, and I can show you how to set that up. Set an appointment with me. Go to my webpage, houseofyah.communityoutreach.com / workshops. I'm sorry, just one / I'm reading this other comment too. No statutes of limitations when you have latches and equity. There's statutes of limitations for everything, my friend. How to look up the filing. I don't know. Okay, I'll be here. Go back to what you were saying. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. Going back to her ticket though?
Yeah, I want to talk. Well, let's talk about this ticket. You know what? Real quick, let's talk about this ticket right here. So she's got a ticket from 1990. You've taken the debt and foreclosure class. What are your thoughts on that? We have a procedure for that, don't we?
That we actually do. We need to go in and make our, proper presentment and actually use our firm mailing book to show that we are actually sending it, to make sure that they actually accept it, and then see what their presentment is if they're going to send it back to you and what they say.
That's right. And then and that right there is going to tell you the next move. This is how you have to move with these people, very slowly, because by doing this and using the firm mailing book, you have the witness of the postmaster. So you remember, equity is key. So if you have a witness of the postmaster plus a certified return receipt and they signed it, now you have performance. So you have a witness, now you have performance, and now you have a book and it's all there. This is why this firm mailing book class is so important to take. You have to learn how to move in equity, because if you don't move in equity, these guys are going to move in their jurisdiction. And that's when you run into problems, really big problems. This is why we're losing. This is why people are showing up and making special appearances into court, and they look like complete morons. If you've seen anybody ever win any of those, Natasha, when they show up and say, I'm here under special appearance, nobody hits the ground and says, oh, I'm a sinner, please forgive me, Yahweh. Nobody says that.
No, and then what they really don't realize is that your special appearance is not showing up at all.
Exactly. Please set up a consultation. Yeah, a special appearance means you shouldn't be there at all.
Exactly. Exactly.
But wait a minute, they'll issue a warrant for me and this and that. Yes, they will. This is why you need to take the class. There's a lot more to it than that. It's not that easy. So do you think equity is the best way to handle debt discharge? If this was true, we would have to file it. No, this is why we use the firm mailing book, my friend. When you use the firm mailing book, you already have a record. You've created a record. You've created an equitable record with performance. So by doing that and having that, now you're conducting business properly, and you're operating in common law jurisdiction. And I'll tell you, moving in equity is so powerful. When you're using a firm mailing book and you send stuff to the courthouse, it take 4 days to get there or something, the clerk has to roll her round dater back to date it on the date that you mailed it. That's how powerful these firm mailing books are. So if we're using this stuff properly, we're gonna win. How much is the class? There's nothing for the, by the way, there's no cost for the consultation. Just go to the houseofyah.communityoutreach.com / workshops. Okay. set an appointment with me. Check out the workshops. You can read. You'll see how much the classes are. They vary. They go from like $225 all the way to $475. It just varies. Depends on what you're doing. So is a 1099 moving in equity? No. A 1099 is a record. It is you're recording that something moved. So that means a 1099 means it's an acquisition. So that means something went from here to here. And what you're doing is you're making a discharge of that. So it left, you're making an account. So think of your life as like a big petty cash drawer. And if something comes out of there, you need to have a receipt in there. Otherwise, your drawer's not going to balance. We don't operate like that anymore. We just spend, and then we just fill up the bucket when we can. Yeah. No, that's a dumb way to do things. This is why we're in trouble financially. This is why we can't keep our stuff together. Yes, a special appearance is to challenge jurisdiction. But it's hard to challenge jurisdiction and say, you don't know what it is. You've never heard of it. You don't understand it while you're standing in the big fat middle of it. And worse than that, it's even worse to challenge jurisdiction when you don't even know what jurisdiction you're in. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem. And this is why we're losing in our courts. Come and take my classes. The travel and driving class that we have coming up on the 10th and the 11th, the second day of that class is nothing but law. And no, I'm not giving you legal advice, man. No way, Jose. What I'm going to do is give you my personal account. I'm going to show you my personal cases that I actually won. And they weren't 25 years ago either. They were fairly recent. And you know, once you get really good at this, they put a little on your ID there, and they're like, don't write this guy any more tickets. He's going to make you look like an idiot if you go to court. So don't do it. And they make little notes on you. Trust me, they do. So once you get really good at this, they stop pulling you over. Okay? That stops. So I'm telling you, this is coming from a guy that used to get pulled over like Cheech and Chong. For real. I get pulled over for anything. You know, all my friends were metalheads. They had long hair. Yeah, that was my group. And, you know, what class are you supposed to be in? This was like 2 years after I was out of high school. I was still getting pulled over for that. It was ridiculous. So, you know, this is something that's been happening most of my life. So I had to fix this. And in 2015, when I woke up, I figured this stuff out. The travel and driving class is going to be the setup. It's going to be, I'm going to show you all the stuff that I have, the do not detain list. I'm going to show you how to basically set this thing up so they'll leave you alone. Okay? That's what I had to do. Then we have the debt and foreclosure class on the 17th and 18th. And this is even more, it's more reinforcement for you so that you can operate in commerce, do it properly, and do it without them sucking you back in as surety, okay? Because remember that you have the unlimited ability to contract. So all it takes is one little mistake and boop, you're back out there again. And now you're picking the strawberries again instead of being the guy with the clipboard. We want to be the guy with the clipboard, you see. And then the debt and foreclosure class is the final class. So you guys could knock out you could knock out all these classes this month. You know? And by January, have your tax stuff together and be able to get stuff out. Now, Natasha bought a new vehicle this year. And one of the things that we went through in this class is how she's going to discharge her new vehicle this year. And she'll have it discharged probably by April or May. And I mean, this isn't the Brandon Joe Williams way to do things. This is actually getting it done. So the consultations are not free. The classes, they vary. Just go to the website, houseofyah communityoutreach.com/workshop. Please go there, check out the workshops, set an appointment with me. I've got limited seating on this class. I don't like the classes too big. I like to keep them well-rounded. Okay. Otherwise, we end up asking a lot of circular questions and we end up staying up all night, and I don't do that stuff. So we like to keep these classes informative but not boring. I want to overload you with so much information that you're just worn out when you leave my class. That's a very common tactic that's done out there, Natasha, is that they'll overload you with so much information and leave you, send you out of that class with your head spin, and you're not going to be able to apply any of that stuff. I don't think my students have that impression of my classes at all. I don't think that I know that you don't. I mean, I know you've had no problem filing and getting all your stuff done, right?
Absolutely not. The way that you actually break it down, because I'm still funding my trust right now, and I have some land that's not adjacent to my house, and so, you tell us to go do the quit claim deed. There's multiple ways to do that. You can hire somebody to do it. You can do it online, pull up a form, anything like that, and of course, read your laws for that state or whatever. And you say go down to the clerk of court or whatever, yours is called in your state, and file it and go from there. I mean, I walked in, I talked to the lady. She said, you got to go file over here. And she said, when you get that number, then come back and we'll put it in the trust. I said, oh, okay. Easy.
It was easy peasy.
So, I mean,
well, and I think
it was easy.
That's when people are doing stuff wrong. When you hear stuff complaining about the clerk not filing their paperwork and now they want to go fire everybody and stuff. Have you heard that?
No, actually, the lady, she actually, I was kind of,
no, I meant stories from other people, not us, not our students, but I'm talking about stories from other people that say stuff like that and threaten the clerks and stuff.
Yeah, it's probably because something's not right in there, or some kind of verbiage, or something like that. So that is very key. Because of the national people, they throw a lot of certain words like secured creditor party or something like that, and it's not proper to do that. And actually, you tell us, this is why, and this and that and the other along in the classes. But yeah, I mean, as far as filing everything, going back to the trust and everything, you're like, look, go online, do this. This is the forms once you get them filled out, step-by-step process, and not only that, if we have any further questions, you consult with us again,
Oh yeah, those are unlimited. Yeah, the consultations are free. So yeah, that's just part of being your teacher. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, and that's, and then going back to some other teachers, download my book, for $15 and that's it, and you're like, okay, I'm kind
you're on the curb with a book.
Yeah, like some kind of digital book or some kind of something, and they're like reading just law out there, and you're like, but it doesn't make any sense, So anyway.
No, I'm with you on that. Well, transparency is big. And, I've been doing this since 2016. And that's quite a while, especially for people in this market. Because I can tell you from 2015 when I woke up, and then I started teaching in 2016, about a year later, then none of those people are still around today. I mean, they're either dead. I mean, Yahweh rest their souls. They're either dead or they're in jail. Bruce Doucette was one of the teachers that was, big, and he was making, big stands against politicians and, public leaders that weren't doing the right thing and stuff like that. Well, he's sitting in a Colorado prison right now. There was some other guy, his name was Tony something, private attorney general. Remember that guy? The black guy from Hawaii?
No, I don't think I know him. No.
Yeah, he was. This guy did some crazy stuff. He actually went and got a pistol and a badge, a common law pistol and a badge and everything. I don't know how. I mean, he did his. I don't know. He found some paperwork back in the cowboy days or something, and literally went down and got a common law badge and gun. Oh my gosh! Somebody just left a comment here and says they were locked up. Oh, what is his name? Anthony. What is his name? Somebody said he was locked up with them here. Oh shit! What's that guy's name? Anthony something, private attorney general, I think is what his name was. But all of those guys are gone. They're gone, And then the ones that we still have around, which is like Chris Hauser, Carl was great. Remember when we did that call on Chris Hauser, and he pulled up like all of his legal history and stuff and said that he basically snitched off his friends or something, and he's out on the street and his friends that were involved in that are still locked up.
Wow.
That's not good. Anthony Williams, that's what that guy's name was. Thank you, man. Where can we find testimonials of success of people that have taken your classes? Well, I've got one on the call right now. and she's been with me for quite some time. When you're in our classes, and we have a private group, and once you get into our private group, wherever your area of the world is, hold on a second. He charges. What? Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm not understanding this comment. These charges were honestly... Wow. Anyway, I don't charge anybody to talk to you guys on the phone, to help you, to counsel you, pray with you, anything like that. That's part of us having a nonprofit. This is why we're open to the public. We use these classes as fundraisers so that we can continue to serve our homeless vets and serve our local communities. And this is why we do what we do. I just hate to sit and ask for money and ask for people to, feel soft-hearted and donate to something. They should, because we should take care of our vets anyway. But I feel awful to do something like that and not being able to give you something in return. So I assure you, you're going to learn a lot from these classes. There's a lot going on. And you're really going to understand how this whole thing really works, how this whole game really works. And this is a game this is like when we were in high school. You guys remember when we were in high school and the freshmen would come in and they didn't know where the bathroom was, and you'd send them like to the wing way over there while they're doing the pee-pee walk? Did you ever do that? I used to do stuff like that because I was kind of like that. You're hearing lots of noise. I think I know what that's from. All right. We're going to fix that. All right. Yes, Anthony Williams. I started out really good, man. This guy's talking a little bit about Anthony Williams. I have to agree. The guy was pretty amazing. He did some crazy stuff, man. He was doing foreclosures. He was doing all kinds of stuff. But where he really stepped on his own banana peels is that he was representing people in court as an attorney, and that's where he hurt. That's where he really hurt us. Right on. Thank you for clearing that up. Just here listening to see if you're legit or another person mixing in public and private. Oh, no, absolutely not. We don't mix public and private at all. Public and private is two different matrices. They operate together, but they're separate. And what I teach people how to do is to operate in the private to manipulate the public. Not manipulate, but cause an effect. So if you do something here, it's going to have an effect here. And the problem is that we're on this side of the counter. So we only know how to use this side of the counter. Well, once you take this class and you start going into this, it's only 4 classes. But once you go into this and we start operating, we start pulling yourself out and you start protecting yourself. These are things that they taught me in business school. When I was in business school, they were teaching us, that you need to learn to you need to set yourself up so that you can protect your assets or protect your personal assets from the business. The problem is that we never had a protocol to protect our assets from everybody else. And so what happens is everybody comes by and punches a hole in your bucket, and now you've got another hole. Now you've got to fill it up even that much more. Their noise is going again. All right, it must be on this side of mine. There we go. Hopefully that took care of the noise. Sorry about that, everybody. I apologize. There's just one testimonial. It's one person. Wow. Well, I think you're asking for a bit much. I think you really are. This is a private process, okay? And when things are out, we just had somebody just say that, hey, are you mixing public and private? That's what you're asking to do. You're asking for a list of people that have done this, but see, that's public and that's operating in the public. This process doesn't commingle with the public. And let me tell you what happens when you start bringing public and private together. You end up with Jerry Springer. Yeah, that's exactly what Jerry Springer's entire... Hello, Moto. Sorry about that. Just had a call coming in. But that's it. That's what his whole thing was built on, was taking private lives of people, putting it into the public, and creating total chaos. And that's what you're asking to do. You're asking for people to line up and prove it to you that things work. Look, you need to go shake down those other people that created all that doubt in your mind. Because if you take any of my classes, here's what you're going to see. When you leave my class, you're going to know exactly where you stand in your process. You're not going to leave with your head all scrambled and go, oh, what just happened? You're going to know exactly what you were doing and what you were doing in there. Well, my website works just fine, and it's working just fine right now. So if you might want to just go back in there and give it a shot, it's House of Yah, communityoutreach.com/workshops. And respectfully complaining to me about it not being able to get on my website is not going to make you get on. It's not going to make the computers line up. It just doesn't work that way. It's a nice thought though, but it doesn't work that way. So just do me a favor, okay? Honestly, go back up to your search bar and type in House of Yah, YAH, communityoutreach.com/workshops. Okay. And if you'll type that, yeah, give it a shot again, man. It'll get it in there. I appreciate it though. Thank you for letting me know you're having trouble. I know I had a couple of weeks ago, my website was actually down for like 3 days and I didn't even know it. So thank you. Thank you guys for following. Now I will tell you this. I'm the only guy that's traveled the country for 2.5 years with DOT plates. I'm the only one that's done it. I'm the only one that's foreclosed on the lender and taken their property back from them. And I even have video of the cops coming up to my house because there's somebody at my house trying to repossess my car. Oh, yeah. And he goes to jail. And my car, back in the driveway. That's right. And I legally did this. No courts, nothing. Now, the first time I did it, and I'll talk about 2 of them. The first time I did it, not the first time I did it, but the first case that I'll be talking about, there was a court involved, and I can actually show you the court case. You guys can watch it if you want to, and it's super cool, man. I ripped these guys down, and no doubt about it. Now, I would love to tell you that, hey, it was me, I'm so smart, blah, 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 but I'm going to tell you this. It's Yahweh. It's Yahweh that makes me smart. It's Yahweh that gives me that discerning spirit. And 23 years in the car business and 8 years as a finance director made me the most knowledgeable person in that courtroom regarding that vehicle transaction. I knew more about the vehicle transaction than the lawyer that was there. And the lawyer actually lost his license. He doesn't practice law anymore. That's right. Yeah, he lost his butt on that. And if you guys take the class, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did it, exactly how it happened. I'm also probably the only guy that has a $13 million lawsuit against a town in Texas. I've completely defunded their sheriff's department. Yeah. And all the people that put their hands on me, all those little double chin cops out there that did the bad thing, they don't have jobs anymore. Oh no, they can't even carry guns anymore. Nothing. Has it been a little bit of a pain in the butt? Yes. But for as much of a pain in the butt as they've been to me, my Yahweh has been showing me lots of other things. And I'm the only one that's ever done that. I don't think that anybody has ever disabled and done this sort of thing without sitting in jail somewhere. They try to drop the jail on top of you, because believe me, they did try to do it. I've actually had 2 towns come after me here in Texas, and I beat them both. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just telling you, I've been doing this for 8.5 years. So if you guys are looking for real results, real solutions, I'm that guy. I'm not going to be telling you any third-hand stories. I'm going to tell you what I've done. Mortgages or contracts, did they perform? Where is the proof of claim that they performed? The proof of claim that the contracts is performed is look at the pay schedule. Right on. I'm also in Texas. I'm in South Texas, man. Welcome. And no, mortgage loans are not a fraud. They're not a fraud at all. They're actually funded. Right on. They're actually funded by your performance. Did you know that? What if I told you in my debt and foreclosure class, I have the forms in there and the templates to show you how to get the notes back when you pay off this stuff. Then I'm going to show you how to deposit them. So like on a $136,000 house at 6% or 3%, 4%, I think it was at 4%, that security agreement was worth $237,000 or $39,000. after they paid it off. That's what it was worth. How'd you like to recoup that? They're not talking about that because they don't understand what they're doing. Okay, he says they're all fraud because we were born as the creditors, not the debtors. That's not true. When you sign a security agreement that says you're a debtor, or it says that you're a bonehead, or says that you're any kind of title, you become that title. And the reason that you become that title is because you are acting as such. They failed to give you a loan. They facilitated the loan. Oh, this is good. This is good. This is some of that old caveman sovereign stuff that's floating around. I know, dude. Don't get upset. I know. You got this information from somebody and it's very convincing and it's true. I know. I get it. But here's what happens. Let me just tell you what happens in it. We're going to go over tonight a little bit. But let me tell you what happens in closing. I'm going to tell you in the last 8 minutes here. That's what I'm going to do. Or maybe 10 minutes. But I'm going to tell you this is how these loans are funded, okay? You fill out an application. The application gets presented to the Treasury. Okay, hold on. Yay. Okay, it gets presented to the Treasury. Then once you are approved, those funds are released and they're held in escrow. Okay. Your title company has you put up 3%, 5%, 20%, whatever you're putting up, okay, for a down payment. That's actually invested and they turn that into a security. And the security is based on your performance. So here's why it's not a fraud. You just don't know what's going on. So what happens is that your money, your down payment money, whatever you put down, your escrow money, whatever, okay, that gets rolled into what is called an appearance bond. And what happens when people show up to the closing table? They've all appeared, didn't they? That's right. And what did they do ultimately? They performed. This is something I'm going to talk to you guys about in my class, okay? Nuggets, lots of nuggets. And then what happens is the note is securitized based on your performance. Not you making the payments, but you doing the action of making the payments. This is why if you've ever gone and asked for a deferred payment, they always ask you to pay something anyway. You know, it's not really a deferred payment if they want, you know, $80 of the what? Well, it's because they're trying to collect a per diem and they need that security agreement to perform. Because the reality is that by your performance, you're making the money. Come on, shake it off. Stay with me. By your performance, you're making the money. And that agreement is capturing all of that equity and performance, okay? That's how these things are funded. And there's some more details to it too, but I'll cover that in class. You guys have any other questions, comments? I see somebody here, he says, I just got served papers because I wasn't able to pay the loan off. It's kind of a long story. Well, it sounds like it is. Set an appointment with me, okay? Set an appointment with me. Go to houseofyah.communityoutreach.com/workshops. Set an appointment with me. I'll be happy to help you. This is completely free, okay? We're here for the public, okay? And if you guys want to take these classes, man, we can do it. I'll hook you guys up. We'll get you guys in there. But I want to talk to you guys first, okay? And the reason I want to talk to you is because I want to make sure that I meet your expectations. Like if this guy is dealing with a mortgage issue and he's taking the debt and foreclosure class, I'm going to focus more on real estate transactions and things like that because they're more pertinent to the group. This is why I like to keep my classes small so that I make sure that we're taking care of you guys. That's the most important part, is you guys. So anyway, if you guys have questions, set an appointment with me. It sounds like a bunch of you guys are. Can you go over the arrears payments in mortgages? Oh man, I'll go over all that stuff, man. we're just getting towards the end of the call tonight, little brother, man. I apologize. I wish you'd have come on a little sooner and asked me that. But here's what I can do. Set an appointment with me. Go to my website, houseofyah.communityoutreach.com/workshops. Set an appointment with me. I'd love to meet with you. If you guys are going through foreclosure, you guys need help with this stuff, you know what? Let me help you, okay? We have a ton of resources. We might be able to help you that way too, okay? What does my background say? I don't know. It's pretty quiet, actually. But here's what it doesn't say. If you Google my name, there's not a whole bunch of people saying, oh, this guy took money from me, because I've been doing this for 8.5 years. There's nobody out there, there's not, at least nobody that I know of, out there saying that I ripped anybody off, because that's never happened. We always hear from people. Sometimes we don't agree with people. Sometimes we have to sever relationships, and that just comes and goes with just doing business. Somebody told me that you could go to jail. Wow. For not paying a loan if they serve you with papers. I don't believe that's true. He's talking about my green screen. Oh, I see. Oh, how to beat any court case? Yeah, that's just Fugazo. That's nothing. Okay, so you're talking about how to beat any of these cases. This is all BS, by the way. It's not that it's BS. It's just misappropriated, okay? This statement up here doesn't need to be here. This information behind me is about void judgments. But keep in mind that you have to meet the criteria for a void judgment, and it's all based on what goes on in your state. And you'll see that these guys like to quote some Supreme Court case from way on back. That's not going to help you in a local jurisdiction. It's not going to help you in the Fifth Circuit if this happened in the Fourth Circuit, okay? So you need relative law in those circuits. Otherwise, you have no standing. This kind of stuff right here just gets people in trouble. It really does. It gives people a fat head for nothing. It does. And I'm going to tell you, the Bible says very clearly that pride comes from the fall. So these guys that are all puffed up doing this kind of stuff, they're just waiting to fall. And they all do. This is why I said earlier tonight that since 2015, none of those teachers are still around. They're all gone. All of them. Except for me. Except for me. Anyway, real results, real solutions. That's what we're all about. So if I can help you guys in any way, please, please, please set an appointment with me. I'd love to meet with you guys. Just to go over classes again real quick. Natasha, thank you so much for being here. Was there anything you wanted to throw in here on top of the pile? Before we go, we got busy with all these questions.
No, actually, I appreciate everybody's questions for engaging with us. Just go over the classes. And again, set a consultation with Tim if you have any questions. Like you said, he wants to see where you're at, in your journey,
House of Yah.
and make sure that we're meeting.
Sorry about that.
At the No, that's okay. But as always, I've enjoyed being here with you. It's always my honor and my pleasure, and I hope that everybody has a fabulous night.
Thank you, Natasha. I think you're you guys are great, and we're going to be doing lots of stuff. So somebody asked me for the website again. It's House of Yah. That's YAH communityoutreach.com / I know it's long, workshops. So that's House of Yah communityoutreach.com / workshops. Don't get us confused with House of Yahweh, because that's some crazy nutty sex cult, and we're not that. That's not us at all. I'm a practicing Hebrew. Everything's walking on a straight line over here. Anyway, man, it's 7:00. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. We had an amazing turnout. Thank you all for being here. Natasha, thank you so much for being here. All you do. We appreciate you guys so much. So there's nothing wrong with our status. That's right, guys.
No, there isn't. Did you want to go over the classes one more time with the dates?
You know what? Let's do that. You know what? We said we'd go over. Let's go over. All right. So December 3rd and 4th, we got UCC and Trust. This is the foundation class. Guys, if you get into this December class, these December groups right here, by January 1st, 2025, you're going to know exactly what you need to do. You're going to have a plan for 2025. Those of you guys that are trying to recoup your debt, those who are trying to discharge your debt, understand how to do this stuff properly, here you go. You can do it all in 4 weeks. Ho, ho, ho. Just that easy. Anyway, on the 3rd and 4th, that's a Tuesday and Wednesday night from 6 to 9 p.m., we've got UCC and Trust. It's a 2-day class, okay? On December 10th and 11th, we have Travel and Driving. That's one of my favorite classes. We're going to talk about the psychology of dealing with these police officers, people with 70 IQs and stuff like that. We're going to talk to you about that. Second day, nothing but law. I'm going to show you how my court cases, how I didn't even have to show up. I'm probably one of the only people in America that's legitimately discharged, did you hear me? Discharged their ticket court case with a birth certificate. I've actually done it. I'm going to go over that. I'm going to show you how I did it. And on the 17th and 18th, we have the debt and foreclosure class. And I'm going to toot my own horn again. I'm the only guy that's foreclosed on their lenders. I'm the only guy out there that's actually taken their cars from the bank and had these guys done this. Yes, we record all the classes, but they're only for our members only. So if you take the class, pay for the class, you get a recording of the class. We just ask you not to share it with anybody because it's all private stuff. And on the 23rd, we've got the debt and foreclosure. I'm sorry. On the 23rd, we've got the firm mailing class. That's a 1-day class. It's a 4-hour class. Really great class. We're going to go through this firm mailing book. I'm going to show you how to get one, show you how to use it, how to fill it out, and more importantly, how to just keep everything together. Now, the last and final class for December is going to be on December the 19th, and that's going to be our tax equity and discharge class. Those of you guys that have set up your trusts already and you're running through the month or you're running through the year, everything's good, you're getting your stuff together, this is the class that's going to show you how to do this. You don't need a special CPA to do this. You just take it to them, and they're going to do exactly what you tell them to do. I'm going to show you how to do this. All right. Yes, we record all the classes, and yes, you will get a recording of the classes. Not only are you going to get a recording of the classes, but you're also going to get all the templates that go with it. So it's a lot of classwork, a lot of templates, but it's not all super confusing and overwhelming and stuff like that. This is stuff that's very easy, very manageable. This is something you can teach your kids how to do. So if you're incapacitated for any reason, you can have your family just step right in, do what they need to do to take care of you. This will take probate out of your life. This is going to simplify your life in more ways than you'll possibly know. So I'll tell you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What date is the tax class? The tax class is December the 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. or 6 to 10 p.m. It's a 4-hour class. That is a rocking class. You guys want to learn how to discharge these vehicles? By the end of the year, I'm going to show you why it's Ford Truck Month in December all the time. I'm going to tell you why they do these big stupid rebates in December and November and why they're doing this. I'm going to show you how these big corporations are buying all these fleets of cars and just discharging them through the tax year. I'm going to show you exactly how it's done, you guys. All right. Well, that looks like that's about it, everybody. It looks like that's it for the questions. Everybody's good here. Please schedule an appointment with me if you have any questions about the classes. But first, go to the webpage, houseofyahcommunityOutreach.com/workshops. And if you'll go in there, you'll be able to see all the workshops we have available. Those of you guys that get hooked up with, get signed up with any of the classes for December, and if you do it before December, the firm mailing class is 100% free. That's on me, okay? We'd love to have you in the class. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Natasha, thanks for everything. And we'll see you guys next Monday night.
Good night, everybody. Be blessed.
Stay with me.